Welcome back, or just welcome to my channel if you're new here. This is the first installment of the reading my entire physical TBR kind of video. I love watching this sort of videos, and I thought it would be real fun to make one, considering that my goal for this year is to read only from my physical shelves, because I have many books that I haven't read on my shelves, and also many books that I have read but that I would love to reread. As you can see, I've already started. I'm a little bit into The Picture of Dorian Gray, which is a book which is both a new read and a reread. I read this a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago actually. I was still in high school when I read this, but I've completely forgotten what happens in here, what goes down in here. So it truly feels like I'm reading it for the first time. And this is a very recently bought edition, because the first time that I read it on Kindle. So it feels like a brand new experience because I truly don't remember anything. So yeah, I'm on page 96. I really want to make it to the 100 page mark, and then I can tell you a little bit about my thoughts on it. So, update on The Picture of Dorian Gray. I am officially 112 pages into this, so I'm a little bit, more or less halfway through. Honestly, it is so good. Like, as I said before, like, I've read this already, but for some reason I don't remember anything about it. And when I started reading it like 2-3 days ago, I just remember like it was the first chapter, and I was just like, it was so good. Like, it was just the first chapter, like first 5-6 pages, and I was like underlining like crazy because it was like banger after banger of like amazing lines. And I mean, it's Oscar Wilde, so what was I expecting, right? But it's so good, and it's literally like peak literature. Okay, I'm so tired. This is tea, by the way. It's also really cold today. It's like it doesn't feel like fall anymore. It's like we've officially entered winter territory. I first started reading this first 2 chapters, and I was like, 5 stars. Like, I don't need to read the rest of it to know that this is gonna be a 5-star. As you can see, I've already put a lot of tabs. I'm at the part where, spoilers if you haven't read The Picture of Dorian Gray, I'm at the part where the picture is first starting to show like the first changes, and Dorian's kind of like corruption arc starts to go down, which is kind of sad. It's so sad, and I don't know how I feel about Lord Henry. It's like, I feel like I don't want to make like an ignorant analysis of his character. I really wanted to read this for myself before kind of like looking into any kind of analysis or interpretations. But right now, like, just my reaction to Lord Henry, my instinctual reaction is that it's like, I like him as a character. I find him very interesting, but I don't like the way that he's influencing Dorian. But at the same time, whatever Lord Henry is bringing out in Dorian was always there. Like, it wasn't something that he put there. It was always there to be drawn out, and Lord Henry's just doing that. He's just drawing out what was already there. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like, I like him, I just don't I don't like the way that he like keeps encouraging the worst in Dorian. Obviously, I feel like that is what you're supposed to feel. And I feel very sorry. I feel very bad for Basil. I feel very bad for him. But again, I feel like that's the way that we're supposed to feel. So it's not like it's something revolutionary. No, I'm really loving this. It's really good. I was reading it last night and I thought that I would eventually get sleepy because it was very late, but I didn't. I just wanted to keep reading, so eventually I just had to like put it down and go to sleep. Because if it had been up to the book, I would have kept going. I love Oscar Wilde's witticism, and I do think, I will say, I mean, I forgive him because it's Oscar Wilde. If it was anyone else, I'd be like, you're done. But I do feel like it's a bit like over the top with all of the paradoxes. I feel like it's, especially in Lord Henry's characters, like everything that he says, like nearly all of his lines, is some kind of paradox or some kind of like witty remark. Which again, if it was anyone but Oscar Wilde, I'd be like, okay, that's enough, right? Like let's change it up a little bit. But also I feel like that's just Lord Henry's character. To me, also Lord Henry feels very much like Oscar Wilde. I feel like it's like Oscar Wilde put himself in the novel in a way. But yeah, but overall I'm really having a great time with this. And I can forgive anything because again, it's Oscar Wilde. Okay. Also, I read this ages ago, so I don't remember anything, but I always thought that Dorian Gray had dark hair because the movie, like in the movie, Dorian is played by, I haven't watched it, but I've seen it like clips and stuff. It's played by Ben Barnes, who also plays Prince Caspian in the Narnia movies. So I always imagined Dorian with dark hair and blue eyes, but he's blonde, as you can see in the cover and as it's stated in the book. But yeah. Also, I just read the scene where he finds out that Sybil Vane has killed herself. And I like, obviously, like this is on purpose, but I just hate the way that how much like his reaction, I just hate his reaction because it's what I was saying, that no matter how much we may want to blame or how much like Basil may want to blame Lord Henry, at the end of the day, all of the things that Henry is like drawing out of Dorian are things that were already there. So even before Lord Henry gets there and starts like talking Dorian out of like his grief and his guilt, Dorian was already doing that himself, and he was having like incredibly selfish thoughts. Like he was like, oh, like how her suicide like affects me because now I feel guilty, and now I will never get to be a good person because she was supposed to be the thing that kept me on the narrow and straight path, and now that she's gone, I have no other choice but to go down like this road of corruption. And he's like, dude, someone just killed themselves and you're making it about you. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like all of Dorian's worst qualities, they were always there, and Harry just like drew them out, but they were already there. And if Lord Henry didn't do it, something else was going to, like something else was gonna trigger all of those things, I feel. Which I think is part of the tragedy, right? That it was always going to end badly no matter what. But I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Basil. I feel so bad for Basil. I really do. Poor guy. Poor guy. Anyway. I finished The Picture of Dorian Gray. I finished it this morning. I stayed up until like 2 a.m. last night reading because I just couldn't put it down. Like I got to page like 150 and I kept going because nothing could stop me. I only stopped when I got to the, how do you say it in English? Till the chapter before last, like the chapter before the last chapter, which I think is chapter 19 because I think it's like 20 chapters. So when I got to chapter 19, I was kind of sensing that the ending wasn't going to be wholly satisfactory for me. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to go to sleep disappointed. So I'm just gonna leave it here and I'm gonna pick it up in the morning. And yeah, I woke up and I immediately picked it up again and read the last 2 chapters. Look, this is a 5-star, okay? I loved the book. I loved it. It was so good. No comment, okay? Like, it's just perfect. There's nothing to say about it. But I will admit that I was kind of hoping for some kind of justice. I'm getting upset about this, actually. I was hoping for some kind of justice for Basil. I was kind of hoping that Dorian would, like, I hate Dorian. By the end of the book, I hated him. I was like, this bitch needs to go down, okay? Like, I was just... I can't believe that he got away with it. I mean, obviously, he doesn't technically get away with it, but he does get away with it. Like, no one will ever know. No one will ever know what happened to Basil. I remember I was reading last night because last night was also when I got to the part, and when I told you that I don't remember anything, that I didn't remember anything that happened in this book, I meant it. I was shocked. I was flabbergasted. I didn't understand what was happening. It happened so fast too. I was like, wait, what? Like, it can't be true, but it was. And he gets away with it. No, he doesn't get to get away with it. Like, I was hoping that Alan Campbell would maybe snitch on him. Like, I was so hoping that he would. Even like when he like kills himself, I was like, please tell me that he wrote a note or something. But no. So yeah, I mean, Dorian is dead, but no one will ever know what happened to Basil, and that's what I was upset about. That's what I'm upset about. I wanted justice for Basil, okay? Sweet man. He was trying to do a good thing too. He was like trying to help him, trying to help Dorian. I'm getting really upset about this, actually. Like, I've been listening to Double-Edged Sword, which, wait, I don't know who the singer is, but it's like this new song that's trending, Double-Edged Sword, and it's like, it fits them so well. It fits Basil and Dorian's like storyline so well, and I'm just like, man. But I don't really know what to do now because, yeah, I finished it. I don't know if this happens to anyone else, but I struggle with finishing books. Like, not like once I finish them, I struggle with the concept of having finished them because I feel like, wait, but that's it, like, it's done. And like, I don't want to forget, and I don't want to like just like move on. Like, it feels wrong to just like move on, but at the same time, like, what else can I do? Like, I've already highlighted everything that I wanted to highlight, and unless I want to like reread it immediately, it's like, yeah, it's done and that's it. But it just feels wrong. It feels like I'm moving on too quickly from a relationship, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like, I know what book I want to read next. It's on my night table, but it just feels too soon, and it feels too abrupt. Like, I need to linger with The Picture of Dorian Gray a little bit longer, I think. So I might reread my favorite parts, I think, what I've highlighted, try to get some closure, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. We also need to have closure with books sometimes. Okay, it's not that easy to break up with them and leave them. Sometimes you need to sit down for a cup of tea with them and talk for a little bit longer. And kind of like in between books, I've been rereading the Dark Artifices series by Cassandra Clare. I'm not actually reading from this copy because it's in Spanish and I like to read books in the original language, so I've actually been reading the Kindle version in English. But I have read this series so many times that it's very easy for me to like dip in and out of it. So I've sort of been reading it in between other books, or if I'm tired of whatever it is that I'm reading at the moment, I will take a break and read this for a little bit. And the reason that I'm rereading it and that I'm taking like my time with it is because in November, The Last King of Fairy is finally coming out. If you don't know this, the first book of the last series of the Shadowhunter Chronicles by Cassandra Clare is coming out this November 2026 after years, like literally years of waiting. And it's like immediately preceded by the Dark Artifices. So we have Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness. So I have been kind of like rereading to prepare for that, and I've been doing this reread like very slowly again because first of all, there's still like a little over 4 months until The Last King of Fairy comes out, so I have plenty of time. And also because I've really like, I know these books like front to back. I've read them so many times, so this is more like just to like make sure that I have everything like fresh in my mind, but it's not really like I could probably go into The Last King of Fairy without doing any reread and I'd be fine. But I'm also trying to read them very slowly because I know that as soon as I finish them, there's gonna be nothing left for me to read until Last King of Fairy. I mean, there are some novellas and stuff, but I've also read those to death. And so I just want to like lengthen my reread of the Dark Artifices as close to the release date as I can. We'll see how that goes. I'm like so excited, guys. Like the Queen of Air and Darkness book came out in 2018 and we're only getting the sequel, like the first book of the Wicked Powers, in November of this year, 2026. It's been pushed and put off so many times that sometimes it's still hard for me to believe that it's actually coming out this year and that we're literally like months away from it, because for so long we didn't have a release date. For so long we didn't even have like the names of the books. For so long it was just like this question mark, and these books just like they were a concept, you know, they were just like this concept floating in my mind. And to actually think that in a couple months I'm gonna be holding the book, because obviously I pre-ordered it. I spent all of my savings, my birthday savings, in pre-ordering that book. But I have no regrets. I have zero regrets. I have only extreme excitement. Also, I'm really happy because the like trade edition, like the common edition of the book, the basic one, comes with sprayed edges. I'm just so excited that I'm gonna have the book, and I did pay the extra $1 to get like the fast delivery, so it should get here like only 2 days after like the official release date, which I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. Anyway, so that's what I'm reading at the moment. I just finished The Picture of Dorian Gray, as I was telling you. So I mean, I know what I'm supposed to start next. I'm supposed to start The Hour of the Star by Clarice Lispector, which I'm very excited about because I read Agua Viva last year or the year before last. I don't remember, but I read it, I think it was last year, and I loved it. So I'm very excited for my next Clarice Lispector. But besides that, I don't have anything going on. I have a few audiobooks. I have an audiobook that I got on NetGalley, which is very interesting. It's about the sartorial revolution, which is also called the Great Renunciation, which is when men sort of like started wearing the plain black suit, and everything around that change, that movement. It's very interesting. And I'm also listening to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, but I'm not enjoying it very much. I mean, I'm not that much of a way through it, but I'm just not having a fun time. I thought it was gonna be different, and I don't know, I'm hesitating if I want to DNF it or not, because I really like having a fun audiobook, especially for when like I'm cooking and stuff. And I can't find anything. Like, I'm in a kind of like an audiobook rut at the moment where I can't find anything that appeals to me. And I mean, I have this audiobook, which is a nonfiction, which is great, but I also like having something a little bit lighter, especially for like at night when I'm cooking my dinner. But I don't know if A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is it. And I don't know, I think I'm just gonna DNF it, because honestly it's not my cup of tea. I'm not a really big fan of science fiction in general. Like, it just doesn't have any appeal to me whatsoever. Like, I don't think I've read a science fiction book since I was like 14. And I usually like avoid science fiction books just because they don't interest me. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think I am going to DNF it though. I just need to find an audiobook, a fun audiobook, that I like. So we'll see.